Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well and happy Friday to you. And hopefully it's a little bit warmer where you are there than it is where I am. But either way, hope you're having a great day. Wanted to share something with you. It's something I've been wanting to share since even before I created this group. And it was I've kind of been bouncing around what I wanted to say in my head and really kind of getting a grasp on the topic, I guess I should say. And essentially, it's the biggest challenge that I faced writing this book, and it may not be what you think it is. Um, I know obviously, I've shared that my father passed away a little over a year ago, and that certainly was a tough time for me and still is. And I actually set the book aside for a bit of time, a few months after he passed. I just wasn't in the right headspace to continue writing it. But the biggest challenge that I faced was trying to navigate the unique dynamic of this book. And what I mean by that is that this book, part of why I wrote this book was to honor my parents, two of the hardest, if not the hardest working people I have ever come across in my life. I mean, they're two people that worked so hard over. My mom still does. She's been a housekeeper by trade for as long as I can remember, and I'm 53 years old, so well over 40 years. And my dad worked hard for many years. He was a painter for a shipbuilding company for over 30 years. And so I wanted to honor them because they're two of the most selfless, hardworking people that I've ever come across in my life. And I know I'm biased, they're my parents and all, but still, that's the God's honest truth. But I also wanted to share the other side of that dynamic, and that's the cautionary tale side of things. And by that, I mean, given how selfless and how hardworking they were, deep down inside, I always wanted them to, at some point in time in their lives, to be selfish, especially after I grew up, moved out of the house. My sister grew up, moved out of the house. I wanted them to be selfish. I wanted them to take time for themselves and truly enjoy life because they earned it. They deserved it. And my dad really didn't do that. And unfortunately, it's too late for him. And my mom still doesn't. And it's not too late for her. But at the same time, it's a challenge to get her to think beyond, I have work to do. And so what I mean by the cautionary tale aspect of things is that if we're going to work so hard to build a great life for ourselves, for our families, aren't we deserving of having the opportunity to, at some point in time, better sooner than later, to actually enjoy the fruits of our labor, to actually enjoy the life that we built for ourselves and our families? That's probably one of the toughest things I've had to process since my dad passed, was the fact that there was two sides to him. Before his last stroke, he was very vibrant, young. I mean, he was 20 years younger than his age. He looked 20 years younger than his age. He had a full head of hair long after I started losing mine. But once he suffered that stroke, the will to live, the will to not just exist in his life, but to live it to its fullest, went away as well. And frankly, my mom has never had that side to her. She's always been a nurturer. She's always been a caretaker. She's always been the one in charge who always put herself last. And that's the hardest part for me, is you want to see your parents enjoy what they've built. Because what's the point of building it if you can't savor the experience? What's the point of building this home and this life and everything in it if you can't enjoy what you've done? That was hard for me. I mean, I've always told people, whether it was school, whether it was sports, I hated to lose more than I liked to win. And I wish I hadn't been that way. And yes, to a certain extent, that has helped me from a competitive fire perspective. And it's helped me in the business world as well. But I've had to learn that if I work hard at something and I accomplish it, I should enjoy it. I should celebrate it. And that's something I've had to slowly but surely learn over the years. And I wish that my dad had, and I wish that my mom still will. So that's what I wanted to share with you. That was the most difficult part of writing this book, because I wanted to honor them as well as share the cautionary tale side of things without making it seem like I was throwing them under the bus, because that's the last thing I wanted to do. And that's why, it's two sides to that coin, two very different sides to that coin. And, that's the interesting dynamic aspect of it. And I wanted to make sure that I formulated the words that made it make sense, I guess. But I hope you're all doing well. Once again, I appreciate you, following me along on this journey. It's so much more rewarding when you have a lot of great people like yourselves to share it with. Hope you have a great rest of the day and an even better weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.